and then the game situations. So we are very, very happy to see our colleague like Papa Bakary Gassama, who will be representing the Gambia and West Africa again in the World Cup.
It's a wonderful moment for the entire nation, and he's not going to the World Cup by chance, but by merit. We are talking about here the best referee in Africa. I can attest to that. I wish, because I've been going with him for a few times, officiating matches abroad, and I wish you were there when other referees were saying very, very good things, about him. I wish you were there and hear it yourself. We are talking about here the best referee in Africa. He's not going to the World Cup just to make the numbers. No, he's going to the World Cup to perform. We are expecting him to be in the semi-finals, at least in the semi-finals. And mark my words, by God's grace, he will be there. Yeah, we are very proud of him because he is our only Gambian representative in the World Cup. It's the first time in history. It's the first time it's happening. A Gambian referee is officiating in a major World Cup tournament. Yes.
They were also quick to recognize how Gassama's experience is helping.
It's helping us a great deal because I could remember when I went to Egypt in Cairo last year for the Young Talent course. I was only Gambian representative there. The program that the instructors gave us there, includes the programs that we have been doing here with him, and those referees that I met there, they've never seen those programs by then, and which means we have been doing that here with him. So that tells you that whatever he learns abroad, outside Zurich or any other course, he makes sure that he brings it here for us to benefit from. We are very proud of him.
A native of Meme village in Jokadu, Papa, who turned 35 early this year, has been the country's flag bearer in world football. He's already got 2 consecutive African Cup of Nations appearances, the Olympics, the FIFA Under-20 World Cup, the CAF Champions League final, and a host of other high-profile tournaments under his belt. In what has been a glittering career, and now the biggest and ultimate stage in world football, the World Cup, awaits the international referee. What a remarkable story this has been for Gambian football and Gassama, who some few years ago was officiating on sandy pitches around the country, like this one, as far as Kermama village, is now just days away from a possible officiating in the Maracana Stadium in Sao Paulo, one of football's most famous venues. And when the World Cup starts on June 12th, Gambians the world over will follow the events with keen interest for the historic moment when Papa Gassama will become the first Gambian to officiate on the world's biggest sporting stage.
Yeah. Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you.
Let's now look back at Papa's previous achievements leading up to the World Cup. Papa became a FIFA referee in 2006. 6 years later, he officiated in his 4th African Cup of Nations in 2012. In 2013, he officiated in his 2nd Nation Cup in South Africa, where he won a lot of admirers. One of his standout matches was the North African derby between Tunisia and Algeria, which the Gambian handled to perfection, as we hear in this report filed in 2013, taken from our archives.
After a slow start in the African Cup of Nations currently underway in South Africa, the 29th edition of the continent's biggest football tournament is gradually building up to expectations. At the end of the first round of matches in the group stages, fans of all the 16 participating countries have now seen their teams play their opening matches. Well, one country, though, whose passionate football fans continue to await their team's first appearance in the most prestigious African football tournament is the Gambia. The Scorpions have tried on numerous occasions, but failed on both attempts, leaving fans in this football-mad country with no choice but to support other countries. However, despite the Gambia's absence from the tournament, the country still have something to be proud of in the tournament. Our central referee Bakary Papa Gassama continued to fly the Gambian flag on the international stage in the absence of the Scorpions. The country's top football referee made his 2nd consecutive appearance in the African Nations Cup on Tuesday when he officiated the All-North African clash between Tunisia and Algeria at the Royal Bafokeng Stadium in Rustenburg.
It'll be very interesting to see how this one pans out. The referee is from Gambia, it's Papa Gassama. He'll be assisted by Ogba Mariam Angasam of Eritrea and Peter Adibe from Nigeria. There have already been upsets in this tournament. This one, perhaps.
As he led the two teams out of the dugout onto the pitch, the whole country were united behind him, hoping and praying for this bright son of the soil to have good officiating of the game. With Tunisia and Algeria, two forces in African football, meeting for the first time in the history of this tournament, a lot was stake in this North African derby. And with the two sides boasting of an array of exciting talents, such as Valencia midfielder Sofiane Fegoli and former Esperance star Yusuf Masakni, made this game one of the standout ties of the group stages.
Gambian referee looks at his watch, prepares to start play in this last game of the first round of matches.
This match was never going to be an easy one to call, neither for Papa Gassama nor any other referee. But amidst a rough encounter, the Gambian referee did extremely well to control the game, as he got most of the key decisions right.
Don't give him the yellow card, ref. It's a bit harsh, don't. That's better.
Yeah, Algerian Belkacem is down, and the yellow card for Al-Bawi.
He was earlier in contact with the big centre back, and when I was asking to not give a yellow card, and this time, because he did the same earlier, and this time he just called him.
The tension of the game showed no signs of abating even after the break. But Papa was equally up to the innermost task, and his performance on the night left many happy. One of them was Sandong, one of the country's most experienced tacticians and one of the tournament's analysts for Gambia Radio and Television Services.
Papa did extremely well. Okay. He did extremely well, because if you are not experienced enough, even though Papa is playing well, but he's not experienced enough. Okay. But he handled the game very maturely. Okay.
The game ended 1-0 in favor of Tunisia, with a spectacular last-gasp strike from Yusuf Masakni, giving the Carthage Eagles a famous victory over the Desert Foxes. Tunisia left the Royal Bafokeng Stadium as victors. But it was equally a victory for Papa Gassama and the Gambia, as the pride of the nation once again made his country proud.
In 2012, Papa became the first Gambian to officiate in the Olympics in London, where he was the fourth official in the gold medal winning final match between Brazil and Mexico. Shortly after returning from the Olympics, MS Jallo again managed a rare interview with Gassama.
You just returned from the London 2012 Olympics, yeah, where you became the first Gambian to officiate in the Olympic Games.
Yeah.
Can you just share your experiences with us from the London Games?
It was a very good experience, but very challenging as well. Very, very challenging, because this was my first FIFA tournament.
Very challenging. Can you just be specific? What do you mean by it was challenging? Were you like a bit nervous? Were you tense? Going to officiate at such a bigger stage?
Yeah, I was tense, you know, because, you know, there are so many referees in Africa. So, and two of us were selected, me from Gambia and Selim Jedidi of Tunisia, you know. So it was very challenging for me, you know, and you have top referees in Africa. You know, if I am a young referee, just a beginner who is selected to go and officiate in the Olympic, you know, it was very challenging for me, definitely. But thank God, with the prayers of the Gambians, then Alhamdulillah, I'm back. Yeah.
Next, probably the Confederations Cup or the World Cup. Hopes are high, and I know you keep your fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Are you hopeful that maybe you might be on the plane to either the Confederation Cup or the World Cup?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, but with the prayers of the whole nation, inshallah, maybe. You know, because to be selected to officiate in competition is very difficult. You know, just like for the Cup of Nations or for the Olympic, I was not selected by the Gambia Association.